Let us now look at the branches or divisions of philosophy. We are now really looking at Western philosophy, but really professional philosophy as you enter the university system to learn it. And the thing about learning philosophy from the university level is that when you do philosophy by yourself, like I do, okay, if you don't have the professional training, you could be reasoning, going all over the place and not make much progress. By understanding the general academic branches, the historical branches in any one system, you actually begin to give your own personal philosophy lots of focus. The number of branches in philosophy can be described as 4 or 5, right? And the way you get to 4 or 5 is how you do the last 2 sections here, okay? So when we say branches of philosophy, major areas. The first area of philosophy discovered in the Western tradition is called metaphysics. Meta means outside, beyond, and physics means the physical universe. So metaphysics is often translated as the study of reality, okay? Now, what you see in front of you, what you see around you is real. Metaphysics is saying, what is the foundation of reality? What's the deepest component of that? That's the philosophy. What is underneath it all? Today, metaphysics is the project is taken over by an area you call science. All theoretical scientists are technically philosophers. Their original names until the 1800s is that they were known as natural philosophers. So they're trying to figure out what is beyond the sense experiences. How do we understand this world beyond our experiences using our intelligence? And that's generally taken as the study of reality. In addition to that, we have epistemology. Epistemology is the study of knowledge. When you try to know what's underneath it all, beyond your sense experiences, you run into precarious things and you ask yourself, is this just an opinion? Do I really know what's underneath it all? And is there a God back there or not? You know, we say it's a big bang. How do I know it's a big bang there? I can't see either one, neither God nor the big bang, all right? When you start to do metaphysics, you get into the idea of knowledge. What is that I know? Epistemology is the study of knowledge. Epistemology is not just studying knowledge, it's studying opinion, belief, notions of conceit, the idea of wisdom. It's really studying any kind of epistemic concepts. That is any word we use to categorize our knowledge or information in our mind. In the midst of all that is another area we call logic. Oh, well, let me back up a little bit here. So this area we call logic, okay? Logic is the study of correct reasoning and argumentation. Another way to say it is logic is the study of the essential nature of reasoning and argumentation, all right? So in logic, we learn to discuss arguments and evaluate them, construct them. Logic is the fundamental way in which we do philosophy. In this course here is going to spend a good amount of time developing the idea of logic. Logic is not an opinion. It's not like my logic and your logic. Logic is like mathematics in words. It's not 2 plus 3 is equal to 5 for me and 2 plus 3 is equal to 10 for you. It doesn't work like that. Math is math. Similarly, logic is logic. Beyond that, we have something that's more esoteric, right? Which is the idea of aesthetics, a big one for the Plato's of the ancient world. And aesthetic is the study of beauty. We experience beautiful things, beautiful people, beautiful sunset, and affects our lives. And yet it's not a factual thing, but yet we experience something that motivates us. Some people are motivated to spend $5 million on a painting. What the heck is that about? You know? So what is aesthetic? This is something the ancient philosophers discussed, Socrates, Aristotle, Plato, all discussed as we try to figure out what it meant and its value to human life. It's a study of beauty, okay? What moves us naturally and in the arts. Lastly, we look at ethics. Ethics is the study of how we should behave towards each other. There is a sense that we have free will. We can do what we like, But when we use our free will in such a way, we negatively impact other people. They treat us with some negativity back. They do not communicate with us anymore. They do not invite us to business opportunities anymore. When we behave in a way that's called unethical, they shun us, and sometimes they imprison us. And so Socrates died for his moral beliefs. Okay, this is a big deal in philosophy. So ethics is to study how we should behave relative to each other. Right now, I said when you're looking at philosophy, you could say there's 5 branches or 4 branches. This is where you get to that number. All right. Where people summarize, they put aesthetics and ethics because they're both very subtle. Okay. They put it in a branch called axiology. So some profession will say there's 4 major branches. And the 4th branch being axiology, it includes aesthetics, ethics, political philosophy, social philosophy, things that we know to be true, but there's so much subjectivity involved in those areas because of the use of our free will. But let's go a little further. So this is a course that's supposed to introduce you to philosophy in general. Those major areas are not even called philosophy. To do them is to get interest into philosophy. When you're doing philosophy, you're often focusing on different areas. I just want to show some other major areas that have influenced my study in the universities, okay? So just for you to get a sense of it, when we're doing philosophy, there's philosophy of religion. You study about various types of religion, arguments for and against the existence of God, the existence of souls and things of that nature. We also have the philosophy of science, in which we study the various scientific theories, like evolutionary theory, theories of light and energy. And so, and the first scientists and the first philosophers were actually the exact same people. We'll talk about that a little later. We could study political philosophy. In fact, Plato and Aristotle are known to be the pioneers of the political system we use nowadays. What makes for a good state, for good governance? This is something that is very significant in philosophy. Study of law, jurisprudence, what makes for good law? Why should citizens obey the laws? You know, there are good reasons, some philosophers argue, to go against the government when their laws are not in your favor anymore, okay? Philosophy of mind, although we have philosophy of science, which includes philosophy of psychology, philosophy of biology, philosophy of physics, philosophy of mind has always been a part of philosophy, where we try to understand the mind, because we suddenly realize we have something more than our body, which doesn't seem to follow all the rules of the body. It doesn't seem to age like the body and things of that nature. So we want to know what the mind is. Philosophy of technology, you would say a more recent idea, but technology is not your electronic technology. It means your weapons, it means your cars, anything that makes life convenient. And in that kind of philosophy, trying to figure out its usefulness, is it really harming people or is it actually helping people? Philosophy of education, if you become a teacher, you're going to have to take some philosophical course and learn about Socrates' theory on education. Philosophy of biology, again, a subset of philosophy of science, but very influential on me as a professor of philosophy and how I viewed biology after I took a course in philosophy. Well, more than one course in the philosophy of biology. It changed my mind on Darwinian evolution. Philosophy of mathematics. I was a math major before I became a philosophy major, and I find philosophy of mathematics very fascinating. I still have a love of numbers. And last, philosophy of sexuality. I put that in there to show you the breadth of philosophy. There is no topic in which we cannot cover. Philosophy can be focused on any topic whatsoever. Now, all the topics in front of you right now are ones where some professionals have written articles and books exploring them. You can go and explore any of them on your own. But philosophy itself doesn't have a specific topic. Anything in the university, anything outside the university, as long as you're reasoning in the right way, with the right intention of discovering that absolute truth, that wisdom, okay? You can do philosophy. We have no limit. We have no limits in that regard, okay? Depends on you as the intellectual who pursuing that truth, okay? That's the most important takeaway from this section about what constitute the branches of philosophy. You get into the details.